person close to me sabotaged my session with a matchmaker.
Oh man, I can totally see that happening. You got to ask yourself, is this person wanting me to stay single so I'll remain their friend? You got to just go with your own gut feeling on that.
Yeah. So, quick background. A couple of months ago, I, 42 male, just got a rather large financial windfall. Literally FU money. Unfortunately, the dating prospects haven't improved since then. Money doesn't always help in that sense. So I enlisted the help of a matchmaker with a good track record. OP says, my parents live with me, so we share expenses, but I am only doing so now because I am having a house I bought renovated, and it's more economical to stay with them instead of wasting money renting a place while I wait for the work to be completed. I jokingly mentioned to my father the day before my appointment with the matchmaker, I hope she doesn't twist certain things about myself or topics I bring up to make it look like I'm a bad potential match. That would be my worst nightmare. So
that would be your worst matchmaker too, probably. I honestly wouldn't mention that you're living with your parents even maybe temporarily. That's not exactly a selling point, but the right matchmaker would know how to frame that, make you look splendid.
Yeah, I don't know why the matchmaker would intentionally make you look worse. So I go see this young woman after I filled out a rather long questionnaire about what I did for work, what I like, hobbies, etc. I should have known something was off when she asked me, as the first question, what do you notice about the difference between what other men say about your appearance versus women?
Wow, that is a trippy question. Men are more complimentary, I would say, probably not gonna be as truthful as your friend, perhaps, or other women.
Yeah. I told her the truth, that men usually make the disparaging remarks, while women usually say, you're a decent looking dude, not sure why you don't have someone, especially now without being financially shackled. She then said, I'm going to tell you straight. Many of my female clients are going to look at your photos and say, he seriously thinks he can get me just because he came into a financial windfall? She's being quite blunt.
I gotta say, matchmakers, they can get a little bit intense and inside their heads, and they start to feel like a certain amount of authority, and they can trip out over dominating things that they don't understand necessarily. So I wouldn't take it too seriously. I'm questioning who this was. Was her name? Never mind, better not go there. Okay, go ahead.
She's not very good.
Okay.
She mentions a few women on Instagram. I showed her earlier as a sample of who I like, saying, do you really think they would go for you just because you're suddenly wealthy now? Let me ask you, do you go to the gym at all? This seems like a really blunt, kind of mean person. I feel like, I don't know, what's your approach when you're talking to new clients?
Okay, well, actually, in our agreements, it just says you need to be a nice person.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to be nice to your matches. You have to be nice to us. And if somebody whips out like some sort of argument like that and is disrespectful, we immediately will like not take them as a client or point to the door. Or, you know, I mean, it's just not a good way to be. And if they treat us like that, we know they're going to treat their matches like that. So it's just forget about it.
Yeah, it doesn't do well for your business if you're sending people. Yeah. I told her, since the windfall, I have been going a lot more than I did before. To which she replied, which translate to you just started when you got that windfall. I answered her questions honestly, and the result was her bashing me. Here is a summary of what I dealt with. She asked me why Comcast gets such a bad rep in customer service. Her response, you consider it poor customer service to reserve their best and fastest service for their biggest spenders. Good thing you didn't go to school for business because you would have flunked out. That's such a specific question.
Are you serious? This really happened?
This is crazy.
Is this grain of salt time? Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I would have. It would have been a check please moment. I'd be out of there so fast.
I'd be like, I don't think you're actually helping me. You're just making me feel worse about myself.
That's pretty horrible. I mean, the money didn't hurt, that's for sure, but it's not something to base a relationship on. And we don't take gold diggers as clients, by the way.
Yeah. By the way, this comes from Accomplished Gas 2782. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Leslie Wardman.
And I'm Keon, and yes, today's guest is Leslie Wardman, the founder of Ambiance Matchmaking, which she launched in 2002 after decades inside the matchmaking industry. After working as a matchmaker and director for an international firm in the 90s, Leslie realized something was missing: real depth, intention, and a truly personal approach. That insight became Ambiance Matchmaking, which is a boutique service designed for conscious leaders, creatives, and entrepreneurs who want meaningful and lasting connections. Welcome to the show, Leslie.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And Leslie's going to help us read these stories today and give some advice.
Awesome.
I told her I'm a car guy, but one vehicle I wouldn't buy is a Ferrari. Her response, that's because Ferrari has standards. They don't just let any dope with money like yourself walk in and think you can buy whatever you want.
What?
This person...
What? This is like a professional hater now.
Yeah, it feels like you accidentally got one of those people that's paid to be mean to you instead of a matchmaker.
Yeah, that's incredibly abusive.
Yeah.
Is her hair really dark? I don't want to name any names. I'm just so curious. I know all the matchmakers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's her. Okay.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, there's someone that's known for doing this.
Yes.
In the matchmaking.
Oh,
wow.
man.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good to know.
And people like her?
She
You
gets
know what they
clients?
say, no drama, no TV. So,
Yeah.
she has a show. God, way
Oh,
to go.
goodness.
Oh, okay.
That limits it, yeah.
I told her a bucket list dream of mine is to start a band where the genre is hard rock to symphonic metal. Her response, the fact that you're willing to blow money to start a band where the genre isn't popular here shows you don't treat your windfall with respect. It doesn't seem like you can catch a break. You're like, I wouldn't buy a Ferrari. And she was like, well, they wouldn't even take you anyway. And then you're like, I want to spend a little bit of money on this band thing. And you're like, well, why are you wasting your money? So I don't know what she wants from you.
Yeah, next.
She-
Matchmaker.
yeah. Yeah, you just got to keep going down the line. She asked me if body hair on a woman is a turnoff. I was honest and said that armpit hair is a gross out level 1, and I would tell my partner, no fun, spicy bedroom time until your pits make a date with wax, razor, or laser. That's kind of weird. I understand if you're not super into hair, but to be until you shave, you can't sleep with me.
Yeah.
a little weird.
I mean, everybody's got their own thing. There's deal breakers a mile long, but he's obviously not in Europe.
Yeah. Her response, it's a little unsettling that you would insist that your of-age partner look prepubescent. She noticed that my preference is for bigger-chested women, so she asked me what I would do if my potential partner tested positive for the BRCA gene and wanted a mastectomy. That's such a specific, random, I don't know, hypothetical.
I don't know. We kind of advocate being open-minded. I mean, our open-minded clients have the best success. And
Absolutely. Do you ask hypotheticals like this, or
no, we
this
kind of
feels very specific.
Yeah, that's above and beyond.
Yeah.
And honestly, that just kind of indicates a closed mind and kind of random deal breakers. So
Yeah.
Is that a common thing where, well, obviously males who are like, I want blonde, I want this kind of standard, and then obviously women would be like, I want someone who's 6'5" in business, blue eyes.
Yeah, sometimes, I love it when, we do work with highly accomplished people, I gotta confess, but I love it when somebody comes in and they have everything in the world going for them, and even they're humble about it, and they don't have all these restrictions. They're like, their height doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they have money. And I love that so much.
Yeah.
It just makes it appear that they're not, having too many standards. They think outside of the box, and their chances of finding success are much better.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
I let her know I wouldn't like her chopping her healthy chest off because of a test with known questions about its accuracy. Her response, so in other words, you would value her chest more than her? She asked me if a partner wanted to wear a low-cut top or a short skirt out in public, would I be okay with it? I told her yes, because I know that other guys may look, but I'm the one she comes home to, so she can wear whatever she wants. Also, policing how a partner dresses is almost always a precursor to being harmful later, and I don't want to be that guy. Her response, is that genuine or a front where you do all the right things so she doesn't see the mistreatment coming? You are getting this is not an interview, this is an interrogation.
Did you say interview?
Yeah,
that.
this is an interrogation here.
That's cute. But there was a valid point in there.
Yeah.
You don't want a controlling guy. Nothing worse, right?
No, absolutely.
He's obviously insecure in there.
Yeah. One of my deal breakers is cigarette smoking, and she asked me if I'm willing to let it go. I said no, because I know within 6 months I'll ask her to quit for me. She'll demand I give up something I like, I'll refuse, and that will be the beginning of the end. She responded by saying, your vice is clearly corn, and you actually go to the expo to take pics with your favorite performance. What if she asked you to give that up? I said, does corn cause lung cancer, rotting teeth, COPD, emphysema, heart disease, prematurely aging skin, and all the other physical health issues that is associated with cigarette smoking?
Mm-hmm.
No, so I wouldn't. Her response, some might say that corn is in some ways worse for society than cigarettes are.
Hmm.
Well, that's just kind of like a broader discussion. I don't feel like we're just getting into these broad
I
hypothetical
feel like it's getting
discussions.
very semantic.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of
Yeah, it's like, well, actually, have you thought about the broader repercussions of corn?
there's a lot of tick for tack
Strike.
with this matchmaker, it seems
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, she's definitely a trip. I got to say, we do have on our interview page, what are their thoughts about smoking? And that's typically the number one deal breaker.
That makes sense.
Never say never, though. Like, I've heard of one person that their person never criticized them for smoking when they first met, and she ended up quitting just automatically. Like, I don't know if it's because she fell in love and didn't need it anymore, but we don't have on our interviews sheets, but I've heard of it one time. One of the matches that we got together was a successful one, except months down the road, he came off hold. They're allowed to go on hold if they want to see where it goes with a certain person. And the reason he came off hold and he broke up with her is because she had a problem. Sorry, I don't know if it's funny or not, but it's
I mean, like, I feel like it's definitely a thing that I don't think people bring up as like a first date thing, but it can become pretty problematic for some couples, I think.
Yeah, okay, it did come up one other time. It was ended up being a preacher.
Oh,
ooh, now we're talking.
Nice.
Preacher.
That's crazy. Wow. She then asked me why I put down my desired age range from 26 to 33 when I'm 42. Well, that's okay.
See, I feel like I think there's some qualms with OP here as well.
Yeah,
where he's
I do think OP's flaws are showing up a little bit.
It's the
okay.
He kind of diverted when the matchmaker asked him about corn. And he's like, well, yeah, does it do this? It wasn't like, okay, well, if I was asked to stop doing it, I would do it. And then also, he's like, I like my women younger, but also, no, if I see one armpit hair, it's done.
They're done.
Okay.
Do you see a lot of, do a lot of people come in to you asking for, their age range is much lower?
Yeah, but honestly, that pendulum has swung quite a bit in the last 10 years, and a lot of women are wanting younger. I mean, it makes biological sense, and we do try to keep it within 5 or 10 years, one way or the other. But if a guy gets too over the top, again, there's the door,
Yeah,
it's unless they'll let us talk some sense into them, because some of them just can't get the 50s out of their mind or something. But that's just not where we are in this.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you ever just like cold water them? Be like, hey, do you realize you're here for a reason? It's because your standards are way too high, or you're asking for too much in a partner.
Yeah.
Lower the bar just a little bit, because obviously it's not working.
No, that's what I call the mental toolkit. I do that all the time. And if they're adamant, then they're probably not going to end up being an ambiance client. But
sure,
I got to be careful sometimes. Like, I was a guy wanted to be a client a couple weeks ago. I mean, and he was so nice and had it all together and stuff. But he's in his 70s, and he's like, oh, yeah, I've got a baby. And I'm like, a fur baby?
Yeah.
And my jaw dropped when I finally realized he was serious. He had a baby and stuff. So, yeah, that wasn't going to be, can't work with that.
Yeah, it's hard. I told her, because quite honestly, a younger woman is more likely to focus on the here and now. When there is concern, a woman in her 40s would focus too much on the pre-windfall chapter of my life, which is now closed. Her response: you just don't want a woman who might balk at the face it took a windfall to get you out of your parents' house at the age of 42.
Okay.
Not everything she's saying is a lie, but like, it is, I think, too harsh when you're a professional who's been hired for a job. That's, I think.
Yeah, this guy, he probably needs therapy and not matchmaking right now.
I think so. and definitely not this matchmaker. At this
They
point,
can get a group deal.
Yeah. I have enough. I let her know I think I'm being horn affected. Basically like the halo effect, but the opposite. I told her that because she had a negative impression of my appearance, she carried that negativity into everything I said. She said that's ridiculous. I got up to leave, but I had to ask, if I wasn't horn affected, then this was sabotage. It's very weird how you asked those questions in particular, then bashed me for my honest answers. Unless someone told you to ask those questions, then bash me for my answers. That's when she admitted it, saying someone close to you called my private line last night and told me to ask you certain questions and find a way to have a problem with everything you said and make it look like you're not even first date material, much less boyfriend material. After what this person told me, sorry, but I can't set someone like that up with anyone. Then why would you even take the client?
Yeah.
Maybe they were paid by the someone who was close to them.
But that, yeah.
I gotta say, there's matchmakers out there that will they're more obsessed with themselves than their clients. Yeah, and they will take the money without having the tunnel vision enough to know if they can match them. I mean, it's super important to get on it even before you let them sign the agreement, because you got to factor everything in. We screen the what out of everybody. They got to fill out a form, then fill out a bigger form, and then they go through like an hour and a half long interview with us online and stuff, and we just it's a friendly interrogation, but we just make sure they're matchable. And then during that, I'll dive into our CRM, and then I've set up an international platform where I network with other matchmakers that I hold in high regard. And
that's cool.
But it's such a bummer, man. I hear so many stories about people that have been with other matchmakers. I had one come to us, and she gave a matchmaker we're so upscale. She gave her $100,000 right after her husband. And she was in a sad space. Gave her $100,000, never got one match.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I don't know too much about the matchmaking. Is it do you have would a client for that initial interview, would they pay for that initial interview, or is it just?
We do charge. Yeah. Because you know what? We didn't for the longest time, but then, I've got people that do interviews for us, and they record them. That's the only way I've figured out how to clone myself, so I can watch the recording, kind of pick up on the vibe, not just what's on paper about a person we're considering working with. And I would see them for a while just getting used, their time getting used by a girl who just had her heart broken, or somebody that just really wanted to talk.
Kind of like a therapy session.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is no more. And we started charging. It's nominal, and then we apply it to their membership, but it's just the only way to protect our time, which is
it's just basically charging for a better service than and
it's not like money down the drain or anything. We'll give them a big wide open view of the matchmaking world, and they might get a little therapy at the same time. And then even that, if it doesn't work out, we have a free singles database where not everybody can afford a matchmaker, and they can go in there, and we've got a lot of people in there married, and they didn't pay.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I feel like it's with the dating apps, a lot of dating apps have services paid for subscriptions, so it just feels like you're getting an even better version of that. So it makes sense to pay.
Don't ever compare us to a dating app.
No, I'm saying you're better. I'm not comparing it.
Question.
I'm so sorry.
I was gonna say, go ahead and get that, Leslie. But have you ever maybe had a session with somebody or someone in the business, and you just hear their story and you say, I don't think you're ready for this. You need to get therapy or maybe seek a professional, then start dating? Or is it mixed bag of you can do this, but also therapy, but keep it is it just sometimes you just hear something or get someone's context and you're no, I don't think you're ready for this just yet.
Is this on air?
Yes.
Okay. Definitely I have an answer for that. It's kind of back away slowly. I don't get in their face like this, matchmaker that we're talking about so much. For a minute there, I thought the comments going by were about me. I was like, what? But they're about her, right? Just want to clarify all that.
Yeah. Okay. You're so good.
No. What I'll do or have our directors do is just tell them, well, if it's the directors, they're like, okay, well, we're going to have a team meeting and we'll, figure out if this is a good fit or not. And it basically will do that. And then we might get too busy, stuff like that. But I don't want to, it's not up to me to tell somebody. We work with people, a lot of them have spent, a lot of time in therapy, and a lot of them were raised perfectly and don't need therapy. And, there's just all types. But I don't think it's my position to tell some, that's, I don't like hurting people's feelings. And some people might take that personally.
Right.
But we all could use a little therapy.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. But we got a little bit more to this story.
Well, yeah. Oh, boy.
So Opie just found out that someone sabotaged his matchmaking session.
Ooh.
I knew right away who called. The night before, I intentionally left her private line out in the open where my parents could see it, thinking they could put in a good word if they found out. Well, they didn't. I got home and my mother asked how the matchmaker meeting went. I was livid. I demanded to know why she would sabotage the meeting. My mom said, I don't know what you're talking about. That's when my dad came out and said, that's because I made that call.
Oh, it was a twist.
Wow. Why?
Super messed up.
My mom looked surprised, saying, "What did you do?" That's when my dad said to me, "Maybe don't tell your father you would be willing to withhold intimacy if your partner doesn't groom to your standards, or that you would refuse to let your partner get a mastectomy because if she had a nice set of D or double D cups, you wouldn't want to lose them over a stupid test with known questions about its accuracy. You claim corn is a fake concept drawn up by religious zealots, but the stuff you say shows it has really skewed your view on women. Also, you know those Lifetime movies your mom drags me into watching with her? Just about every time the plot is about a harmful partner where the man says he won't do X because it's a precursor to mistreatment. It's a front where he does all the right things so she doesn't see it coming."
Okay.
So did the matchmaker just like call his dad back and say, "Okay, this, I have to dish now. This is what your son said."
This is a whole bunch of crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that dad is freaking me out. And when I watch movies or just stories, I
Yeah.
get sucked in. I'm in their living room right now and just hearing
Yeah,
what's going
you're
on.
watching.
And it was so bizarre. But yeah, I can't believe he's still living at home. I mean, get an apartment because that's some weird
'cause
energy.
these parents are, I mean, at least the dad is pretty intense.
You gotta wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. But do they watch together? At this point, I'm curious.
So
And Kim
strange.
Coyne, thank you for explaining that you weren't talking about me.
Yes.
Kisses. Mwah. Okay.
My question, I guess, real quick question is there like a privacy agreement?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
this feels like it's breaking
No,
a privacy
yeah.
agreement.
We operate like a law firm, and
Yeah.
we get people, disclosure, no disclosure, and we're so like, okay, so when we match somebody up, and if they're in like, I don't know, in a common occupation and have a kind of common name,
Yeah.
we'll even, because it only took us one time to figure this out, like internet, you can find out who's who in a
Yeah.
heartbeat. So we've got like a whole bunch of like Sherlock Holmes working for us to make sure nobody can Google anybody. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and
That's a good
because there's
idea.
nothing worse than sitting down at a table or Zoom.
Someone already knowing.
Yeah, they know more about you than you know yourself. Yeah, not happening. It's got to be
Yeah.
organic.
Opie continues, "WTF? I told him those things as private father-son conversations in confidence. I asked him, based on how she never brought it up, I take it you didn't mention how when I got the windfall, I donated in large scale to certain charities, or that I donated to the local food bank, or when I saw a young mom at the supermarket checkout underestimate her grocery bill, I gave her the amount she needed and told her to keep the change. None of that matters?" My dad said, "No, it doesn't, because for the matchmaker, it would be bad for business if she sets you up with someone and 6 months later, the woman tells her you're controlling and possibly harmful."
That's
And
hard.
yeah.
That's hard to foresee.
Yeah. At that point, I had it. I told my parents, I'm going to look for a short-term rental. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. Well, my new house is being renovated because I cannot stay with them anymore.
Aw.
Because apparently they would rather see their son alone than possibly happy. And since they know the address of my new house, I let them know if they step foot on the property, I'll call the police and have them arrested for trespassing.
Ouch. So it ended poorly.
Yeah.
That's messed up. Like, I wonder what the dad's intentions were.
don't
Did he want him
know.
to stay single so he could have a partner or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
or like wanted the money for himself.
Oh,
Yeah, that's my
interesting
thought.
twist there. Yeah, this sounds like Candid Camera or something.
Yeah. My mom looked at my dad and said, "I may have just lost my son. Why did you have to do any of that?" My dad called her enabler and walked away.
They need counseling.
Yeah.
They need their house staged.
By the way, you should walk towards us and listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. And we've got a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts?
About that story?
Yes.
Wow, I gotta I don't know, let it go. It's
Yeah.
disturbing.
Yeah.
It is really disturbing. I might be a cream puff. I'm a cream puff matchmaker, confession. But that's just like a lot. Yeah, he did the right thing. I'm
Yeah.
really glad. I feel bad for the dad to, I could just say one quick thing about men. Men have come like into this like evolution, and there's like a super big awkward phase of men coming out of playing the hardcore chest beater dad and stuff. And they had this study out of Harvard like a few months ago, and it said that men are more sensitive than women, and they just have never been able to learn how to express themselves, and that can mess you up. I don't know what the right, anyway.
Yeah, as a man.
Yeah. So
I think
Yeah.
it tends, like if you don't have an outlet, you tend to keep everything in and then it affects you more.
It's the bravado, the macho.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't
Just
show
more-
that you can cry or talk about your feelings because
so
Yeah.
sad.
so
just
people
builds up.
people think you're weaker or
Yeah.
too sensitive. But that was the mindset for me growing up. But obviously, it's over time it's changed and
Yeah.
it's getting more progressive. Thankfully, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Doesn't seem like that in this household, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a friend of mine was telling me that his dad was the word starts with a D the other day. I'm like, all dads were that, you know?
Yeah.
But OP continues. After I found a place and began packing, my phone and social media DMs were flooded with messages saying how I shouldn't be so harsh on my parents because my dad likely in a moment of anger called up the matchmaker. Turns out that a moment of anger was based on what a family member told me because I paid off their mortgage and told them they can stay in their current home and that I'm planning to live in my new house by myself. My mother apparently told this person, after all we've done for him, he's going to make us live in this small house with no room for our cat to roam, while he moves into a large house with actual property around it by himself, simply because he thinks living by himself will improve his dating chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. My dad apparently was pissed and said, if he wants to live by himself at the expense of us, let him stay living by himself. So yeah, a bunch of people who don't know that are saying I'm the a-hole for shutting my parents out over what happened. But they don't know that one detail. Am I really the a-hole? I don't think so. I think, maybe you have some, things I disagree with in terms of your dating preferences, but I don't think you're the a-hole in this situation.
He paid off their mortgage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got to say, this right here is like one of the biggest problems in society right now.
Yeah.
Like the latest thing is like 3 out of 4 families are estranged and no fault necessarily, but it's hard for the parents to let go of their kids sometimes and want to guilt them out. And oh my gosh, yeah, it's
absolutely
awkward.
Yeah, no, it just seems like money got in the way. He got a bunch of money and then they thought it was theirs, which is difficult.
What made him think that? Whose money was it? Was it the
was
grandparents?
his. No, I think, I don't remember how did it say how he got? I think it just said like he fell into money.
Yeah.
And I think they just kind of assumed that he would give it all to them, which is.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Leslie, have you had that before where a client's parents or maybe like a sibling interfered with
I gotta
if that's
say,
okay to talk about?
interfered. Well, I have done, we work with a lot of people from South Asia,
Mm-hmm.
very family oriented. And like I've had to go through the chain of command. Like I'll first meet with the uncle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. And then the family would fly in. I'd meet them like downtown here, LA, Marriott, and meet everybody in the boardroom and discuss, just everything. And the person would be there that they wanted us to work with, their daughter or niece or whatever. And yeah, they are very when you're in that culture. I mean, we're worldwide. We're not just LA. We're national and international, and there's like a bunch of different cultures to factor in. But yeah, the families play a big part, and it's like notorious. You're not just marrying whomever; you're marrying the family.
Yeah.
And so yeah, watch some movies from South Asia. They'll show somebody diving overboard on a cruise ship or something because they don't want to be with all the families or something.
Oh, wow.
It's just drama.
Yeah, no, we get some stories just like that, but
You do.
nothing where that intense where they jump off
Yeah.
the boat.
No, there
but-
was a
Jumping off the
film.
boat stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cruise ships?
Yeah.
I am never going on a cruise ship. I've heard way too many stories.
Okay, I have ever been on a cruise ship either.
Yeah.
But that's the end of that story.
Okay.
But we have some questions for
Sure.
you. So we'll get into that. But before we actually do you want to reintroduce yourself for any new people?
Sure. I am Leslie, and I'm the founder of Ambiance Matchmaking, and we're based mostly on the western coast of California, but New York City, Miami, Austin, we're pretty much all over and international now as well.
Thank you.
Amazing.
And Leslie's going to help us answer some questions
Love
and
questions.
read some stories. But let's get into this first question. What individual have you had as a client who you thought would be impossible to match? So, I mean, you don't have to be specific.
No,
but if
yeah.
you have any
Do I
vague
want to get
answers.
sued? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I normally wouldn't, like, these days I wouldn't take them.
Yeah.
Okay, because my time, I like my life.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
impossible is a horrible word in matchmaking. So, but I did take this one guy, and the world, the universe is a funny place when it comes to things that you think are kind of within your control. But this one guy came into our office. This was our first office, which was in the Midwest, by the way. And oh my gosh, he was so nervous. He was so shy. And he would not take his jacket off, and he's like sinking low, and he's sweating, and it was painful for him to answer any of the questions, And I was like, wow, okay. And he didn't even like, he was like, okay, well, like he just wanted to sign and get out of there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pray hard over this one or something. I didn't know. But honestly, like 2 weeks later, a girl came in his age category. I'll never forget, she was like kind of, trying to style and stuff. I remember her having, he had a booger in his nose.
Oh, no.
And she had lipstick on her teeth. I'm not kidding. And
A match made in heaven.
they got married. They never told me.
Oh, wow.
Like sometimes you don't
find out.
I never find out. I'll go into like a restaurant and the owner will come over. Hey, let's see, so and so is in here celebrating their anniversary, and I'm like, they got married. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this couple, they were maybe just too shy to tell me. But yeah.
That's
so
lovely.
yeah, I'm just really happy about that. But these
Yeah.
days, if it's like just too random, because we're like so busy, and that just would take a lot of time. Unless they wanted to give us like $1 zillion and we can put everything else on hold. And focus on them.
Focus on
Yeah,
that.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
I did see in the comments, Leslie,
You
that
can have
Emma Wilkins said, "Oh, I've heard of your company over here in the UK."
Oh, nice. Well, thank you, Emma. Give us a call.
Yeah. Let me pull up the next question. Really
Yeah, we are in the UK. I had to think about where we are.
Yeah. Are you like, are we?
There.
China.
Yeah. Next question. What's your favorite success story?
Okay, this is where my mind gets blown because we have so many
Or one of them, I suppose.
already.
Like what the one that comes to mind, or maybe a couple that come to mind.
Okay, fine. Well, 3 come to mind. I'll limit it to 2. One, okay, I really like this one because it's in our Chicago office. And this girl, super cute girl, 33 maybe. That's our target market, actually. And she comes in and we sign her on. She's a neighbor. I was living in Lincoln Park. She was like around the corner. And then one of our staff members recruited somebody, and we ended up matching them. I think it was like her second or third match. Long story short, they ended up getting married. Okay, so the reason it's my favorite story is because this is like matchmaking for you, or just fate, or I don't know, file it as you wish. But they got married. They're living in Scottsdale now, much warmer, way to go. And they have like 3 kids, and they would have never maybe met. They lived like a few blocks from each other. And that to me, I don't know, just stuff like that trips me up. I've actually sat in church and like seen one person and another person like on separate sides of the church, and I knew they were going to meet on that Monday, and it's so bizarre. They're like in there and they have no clue about what's, it's like a weird Hollywood show or something. But another one is like it's in one of our cultures that is, pretty staunch on cultural AKA and religious beliefs. And I got this girl to think out of the box, and she came to us, I'll never forget, and she was like, her energy vibe was like really down. I was like, oh, because sometimes that's a tough spell to break. I don't know, remind me of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, that cartoon. But and she had used some bad matchmakers in the past, and I'm not saying we have a perfect track record. It's like, sometimes like, well, we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, she ended up really being open-minded on that point of religion. I thought her parents were gonna kill me, but they ended up getting married, and she couldn't be happier now. And it's just so nice to see somebody come alive, and they invited me to their wedding and all that kind of stuff.
That's lovely. Wow.
So that's 2. Was that 2 or 1? That was 2.
Yeah, it's 2.
What's the third one? Okay, one more. This guy, he like has this company, and it's all around the world, and he was limiting me on geography.
Yeah.
And I like sometimes like 90% of the time, like halfway through at least. And even sometimes before they come in the office, because I've been doing this so long, but I'll get like an idea of who I think they should meet, who their first date should be. And Lord forbid she'd be like, outside of a few zip codes. And I kept trying to, and he was like, had it going on, he was like, this town's most eligible bachelor, woohoo. But he kept saying no to this place because it was like a half an hour out of his, dating jurisdiction or something. And he was having a good time. He's meeting a lot of amazing women. He had just come out of a long marriage. I need to factor that in. But his membership ended. I was like, okay, well, we did our best. And then he called us up maybe a month later. He's like, can you please renew my membership? And I'm like, okay, but you have to meet this girl. And he's like, well, I am going to be at this certain basketball game down the road. I'm like, okay, you guys are meeting. And they met and got married. So
you're like, I know best. Let me do it. That's so cute.
I was so happy. That would have been one, like probably on my tombstone. I would have written something. But he needed that time to decompress, coming out of a long marriage. Like,
absolutely.
So timing, like I don't have control over
timing
this
is
stuff.
so important.
Thank you.
Yeah,
right.
no.
And energy, timing and energy. Wow.
Yeah. No,
So like, thank you. You want a job? Huh?
yeah, I'm on it. I'm
Okay.
ready. I've done pretty well at accidentally setting up all of my friends. So
It successfully?
yeah.
Oh.
I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just
Okay.
bringing friends.
Okay, you
together.
really need to
Yeah.
call
She
me.
provides the
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah, I'm just like, I throw parties and I'm like, here you go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
My parents love to host, and now my brother and I both love to host as well.
Yeah,
And we
I
have a
got that
hosting
part,
house.
but what about introducing people?
I've always been the type of person who likes to, because I feel like I have a lot of friends who like to keep their friends separate. You know,
Oh,
like your friend
interesting.
groups.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah,
Totally,
and
yeah.
I'm like the person, I'm like, I want to
Same.
bring all of my friends together
Yes.
because I think that you guys will like each other. 'Cause I
Yeah.
like all of you.
Yeah.
And that usually ends up working out.
That's awesome. I totally
Yeah.
get it. We're all one. But
Yeah.
what are those people all about that want to keep everything separate?
Yeah, I don't know. I think people have there are certain people, like I have certain friends who just have different groups for different parts of their lives,
Mhm.
and those have to stay separate. It's kind of like your peas and carrots.
Okay.
Yeah, they have like multiple personas, you know.
Yeah.
I thought
Like
you
this
were
is
gonna
my
say
persona for
personas.
this group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my personality for this group. I talk like this, and this is the other. I can act like this with this friend group.
Yeah.
I know some people like that.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Let's see. Some of you, so you've already answered some of these questions
Mhm.
actually in those. Let's see. What are the red flags that tell you someone needs therapy before they're ready to be matched?
Okay. One would be crying in an interview. Had that happen, it was like a top, like, we've all heard of this company. She's like vice president or something.
Yeah.
And she was a young widow, and it was super sad. Actually, I almost started crying. So yeah, not ready.
Absolutely, yeah. If someone's like still very emotional about like a previous relationship
Super
or a
raw.
loss.
Yeah, there's grief therapy, you know? And some people like will go through 2 years of grief therapy, and still like that can be like, I've worked with a lot of widows, and there's like a bunch of different kinds. Like some, I'm told, like 5 years later will still have all their clothes in the closet or something like that. And then other ones like they're ready to get back on and find love again, and those are pretty cool. I could elaborate on that, but I won't bore you. But
I
okay, what's
love
the
this.
third one? Would be, I think I just mentioned 3. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do entrepreneurs need in a partner that they don't even realize they're missing?
You know, I would have to say someone to perhaps soften them. Entrepreneurs, we can get maybe a little edgy, and maybe sometimes feel like you don't need somebody necessarily.
Independence.
Yeah, you know, independence is a great thing because, I was going to go retro a little bit ago and talk about like how women were at such an awkward phase evolutionary wise because women are excelling so much and they don't necessarily need a guy anymore for things, once upon a time. But
Yeah, you don't need that like security.
no, not at all. But the neat thing about that, I don't know if anybody's read Untethered Soul. It's a pretty cool book. I actually, the second time I burned through it, but it talks about just how important it is to undo a lot of our mindsets, and now I look at it like 1 step back, 2 steps forward, because people, for the first time in history, the majority of the population are single. A few different reasons for that, but I believe that we're evolving back around again, and people are coming together for the right reasons, and it's better to be alone than in a bad relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think like that's happening a lot in Japan specifically with like a lot of I think, right?
Yeah, Japan.
Like a lot of women are saying like, well, I'm not gonna.
Japan's just
Yeah.
rates of relationships or marriage or just birth rates are all going down. I think it's crazy to see, because I know from like if you go back to just even like 50 years ago, the numbers are so drastically different to today's like modern times.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. Who's the guy that sang that song? Oh, Ted Nugent. I saw him on like some crazy news story this morning.
Yeah.
He had some weird explanations about that. But anyway.
And then my last question, what got you into matchmaking?
Ooh, interesting story.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Making short stories is not my forte, but I didn't like go, ooh, I want to become a matchmaker.
Yeah.
But I was sitting around. Okay, 2 weeks before this event happened, I had been journaling by the fireplace, and I was really, really sad. And I was actually crying, and a tear will cry. 1 tear. What's that called? Crying? Cry? 1 tear? Whatever.
Yeah.
I remember it falling on my God, it's starting to sound like woo-woo, but it landed on my journal, and I circled it, and I drew an arrow towards it, and I put why I was super sad. Because I'd never really been alone, because I was like always with I was married for a long time. And like 2 weeks later, I'm flipping through a magazine, and I see this article, and it was super blinged out, which I don't have a problem with. And I had no clue what they were talking about. All I knew was I wanted to call them up. And I called them up, and this girl answers the phone. Hi, Megan. We're still friends. Oh. And she's like, come on down, talk to us. So I did. And her personality and mine, was just like, it was fun because she must be ADD too or something. But I did not know they were hiring people. I did not know. Next day, the owner calls me up. And she's like, well, I can't remember her words, but they hired me out of like 300 people or something.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And okay, it gets weirder. And I needed a job.
Yeah.
They did. I don't think so. I don't remember what we talked about. It was a long time ago, but so I'm like, okay. And then like a year later, I hit the ground running. A year later, I go in her office and I'm like, hey, why did you hire me? Because I didn't know anything about this, being single, much less all this. And she's like, oh, well, and she reaches into her drawer and she pulls out all this stuff she thought I had sent her. And she got me mixed up with somebody else.
No way.
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh my goodness. You're like, that's not me.
No, I innocent. Okay.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Wow.
just like, so I think it was meant to be.
Yeah, she's like, well, I just love your past work in the Peace Corps. And you're like,
she's like, you wouldn't give up. You kept calling them. I was like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's so
totally
funny.
mixed up.
Well, it worked out.
Rolled with it, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so
All's
funny.
well that ends well, I guess.
It's just never stopped, that like kind of red carpet of wonderfulness, We
Yeah.
like just randomly got written up in New York Times.
Wow.
And when we first opened our office, I think within 2 weeks being in Chicago, we got written up in the Chicago Tribune. And that just doesn't happen,
Yeah.
Super lucky. I remember,
amazing.
actually, she emailed me the other day. I got to email her back.
Yeah.
Sorry I haven't emailed you back, but she like insisted I have lunch with her like right after that. She's like, how did you get that? 'Cause she'd been a matchmaker in Chicago for like a decade or something.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. It's just
That's
like
amazing. It just worked out.
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any other questions, Keon? 'Cause we can get into the next story otherwise.
Not necessarily. Obviously, when I talked about briefly earlier was in cinematography or films when it comes to matchmakers, like Hitch or The Materialist. How do you think it's a good?
They're on the roof.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think those are like good representations for your line of business, or is it like a little bit here and there, or what do you think about how it's portrayed in entertainment per se?
No, I love that. Well, Fiddler on the Roof.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jewish on my mom's side, but I don't remember. I saw that like in 7th grade. My aunt took me to go
love
see
that.
it. I know, right?
Yeah, I love that movie.
What I like about it is like the Yenta aspect of it. I mean, like I'm supposed to mind my own business. I don't think so. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to start minding my own business, and because it is my business,
Yeah.
I had somebody one time at the end of an interview, he starts trying to ask me if I'm like single or something, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk about it. He's like, you just spent an hour, and I was like, well, that's my business.
Yeah. You paid me to.
Yeah. So, what's the other one? The other matchmaker that just
Hitch,
Materialist.
Materialist is the newest
Materialist.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
they should have had me as a consultant on that.
Or maybe just any matchmaker.
Yeah,
consultant.
like I mean, I have to confess, I haven't seen it. I did see the trailer. I thought about going and seeing it, and then I'd start hearing too many people say things about it. And from what I did see, it wasn't like a total fail, but it just. And then Hitch, yes. 2 thumbs up, whatever. Like, it's so awesome. Honestly, if I could like shift gears, and I kind of, I go back and forth on this. Like, it's nice having one client that you can concentrate on. And I love the bottom line of that whole story. Everything was awesome. Just how that guy was insecure and she didn't care, and just, I love that when people get outside of their heads and, move forward with their hearts. And Hitch helped him. He would have never done it on his own. That poor guy was a mess. But
I need to watch this movie.
Hitch? You haven't seen Hitch?
I know.
It's
We're all
so
talking
great.
about it. I'm like,
it's hilarious, dude.
You
Is
and
that
movies.
the
Yeah.
Will Smith one?
Will at his best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it a watch.
I'll watch it again.
But we've got another story we're gonna get into.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Is it as dished out?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out.
We don't know yet. Well,
Yeah.
we'll find,
But it's gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna read the title and then you'll give a little quick.
Okay. I
Little
gotta quit
quick.
looking at those things inside.
Yeah. All right.
They're super cool though.
Getting that set up right now for you. I'm trying to think. Probably not, but has anyone tried to matchmake you, Leslie? Tried to like this is your line of business, does that
Mhm.
ever get annoying, or like they try to give you advice, or do this, do that? I don't know. You said you were married before, but with your line of work, has anyone tried to do that for you in a sense?
Once.
Oh boy. Okay.
You kind of get where this is going.
Yeah.
Well, like, okay, here's the thing. Like, okay, this is what I tell my clients when they're like, well, my friends try to match me up. And, I'm like, okay, well, friends mean well, but they just don't understand all the nuances and everything that kind of go into it. And I'll be honest, like, on paper, this person seemed okay, or from what everything she told me, but, it was a brutal 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. They don't always know what you like
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, she was in fashion, and she should stay in fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right.
But we're getting into this next story.
Oh boy.
My matchmaker kept telling me about all the people who rejected my profile.
Ouch. Ouch. Again, ouch. That's brutal. I don't think I've ever done that unless they press hard, because I don't like hurting feelings.
Yeah.
Isn't that like also a kind of like illegal in a sense, or is that like is
Well,
that a legal thing? I don't know.
Interesting point. Maybe that's why we don't do it.
Opie says, it has been hard to date most of my life. I am disabled. I am open to dating able-bodied and disabled folks, but there are inherently less folks for me to date than most of other people. I know that already, so when I got a surprise influx of some cash, everyone's getting surprise windfalls in these stories.
Yeah.
I did something nice for myself. I hired a matchmaker. By the way, this comes from Why Am I Writing? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Leslie.
And I'm Keon, and we do have a special guest here. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Leslie, please let everyone know who you are.
Well, I'm Leslie, and I own Ambiance Matchmaking, and nice to meet you all.
Leslie's gonna help read these stories.
I love this.
And Opie says, this matchmaker cost a pretty penny, like half a year's worth of my rent. Before taking my money, I acknowledged that I knew it would be a bit more difficult to match me, and they promised they could find me some dates. So I thought, why not? I'm not doing great at it myself. In the contract, they guaranteed 5 to 7 dates within 6 months. The thing is, this matchmaker, unprompted, keeps mentioning how many times my profile gets rejected by people.
Brutal.
Why? That's not helping Opie's confidence. Last week, they even mentioned the name of one of these people, along with the city the person lives in.
Okay, totally illegal.
Oh, it is? Okay, yeah. Yeah.
That's crossing the line.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely.
Indisputably. Yeah.
None of these people are folks the matchmaker has introduced to me, and I have asked if it was something about the way I wrote about myself or something I could phrase differently, and they kept saying, no, it's not anything I can change. They have yet to find me a single date or even show me a profile of anyone in 5 months, and them constantly mentioning all the rejections that I didn't ask for is making me feel way worse about the possibility of dating. It honestly has felt humiliating, and I can't believe I paid for this. In a recent meeting, they asked to extend the time for my contract by 3 months at no extra cost. Am I overreacting for just wanting a full refund? And we've got some comments, but do you have any comments of your own?
Yeah. I mean, okay, first and foremost, there's so many matchmakers out there. I'll like see them pop up online, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we have 100% success rate.
Yeah.
And I mean,
can't
it's
guarantee
such
that,
bull. Yeah. And you so have to be so careful.
Yeah.
Just run through, your fact checker and go with your gut feeling. And for this case in particular, there is one matchmaker that specializes in, maybe, handicaps or minor handicap or, whatever it might be. And that kind of helps up the odds. I once took somebody that had be on a crutch, and I wouldn't have taken him if I didn't think I could match him. Was it easy? No. But, I did. I matched him up, and he learned a lot. And it was, an experience probably he's never had. Did I get him married? No. But if somebody comes, and this was like a few years ago, but I still think about him like all the time. And somebody came across that I thought would be a good match, I would totally pull him up. And
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. So this is no longer a client anymore, but
no, we, like most matchmakers, we
Yeah.
can't really reinvent the wheel, but we'll do like 6 and 12-month memberships. And, if they expire, it's kind of weird. Like the guy I mentioned a little bit ago, 100% of people, if they have not found love in their 12 months and if they re-sign up, they always get married.
Yeah.
Why? I don't even know. And you're like, yeah, there's one.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, I guess. Maybe they just had to like go through the ringer
See
or
it
something.
first, and then they're like, okay, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dating's not for the lighthearted.
No, it's, Common one says not overreacting. Just get a full refund. Sounds like they're trying to show you the work they're doing by saying X person rejected you. They can't make people materialize out of her pool, but she should have a question in their questionnaire about willingness to date a person that is disabled and to handle that delicately if she accepted you as a client. To me, they're being extremely unprofessional.
Mm-hmm.
And while I realize this may be stressful and new to them, you are paying them to handle those big emotions, not dump them on you. And OP says, yeah, initially the matchmaker said it would take 6 to 8 weeks to find me my first match. When that time passed, they didn't even say anything to me about the lapse. They seemed genuinely shocked that I was bothered that it has taken this long to come up with nothing, and keeps telling me how much of an ally they are to disabled people. It's been a wild ride, but they act so strangely about it that I keep questioning my own emotions. Common 2 says, I don't think you're overreacting for wanting a full refund. It's one thing for them to not find you matches, but rubbing salt in the wound by telling you about all your rejections is just bizarre and unprofessional. OP says, yeah, I keep hoping there's some reason my matchmaker keeps doing it that I just can't understand yet, but it honestly makes me not want to date at all. Reply says there is a reason. It's because they have completely failed to deliver on what you paid for, and they are trying to cover themselves by implying it's your fault and not theirs. They shouldn't be doing the job. They are terrible at it. Get your money back. And OP says, yeah, I think I'm going to request a full refund and keep it moving. The lack of professionalism and gaslighting has made me feel like I'm on another planet.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story.
Totally. I mean, most matchmakers, they do put in that there's no refund. I want to say this, everybody listen.
Yeah.
It will, and it's in ours too. Under no circumstances are there any refunds, but and that's legal, you know, and there are no recourses on that necessarily. You could fight it maybe by saying nothing was delivered. I think that would, I'm sorry, I'm not an attorney.
You.
Ask AI. But yeah, no, I mean, if somebody's not happy, a good matchmaker will like I've had some people like be like towards the end of their agreement and they'll say, oh no, I haven't found love or something, I want all my money back, and we've like invested like 100 hours or something. Yeah, you know, we can't do that, but you know, there's always a way to have somebody feel okay, like they weren't taken advantage of.
Yeah, I think this person just wants a match.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just, all these stories I'm hearing, it makes me really wonder. I think I know pretty much all the matchmakers out there. Yeah. They didn't say if it's a specialty in that department. I hope it isn't, because you'd like to think that they're doing a good job, but matchmaker is not easy, and people have no idea that we don't just sit around and bat our eyelashes, and it's not easy coming up, you know, especially, God, even when I first started doing this, it was like so much easier than it is now. Like there's just so much divisiveness, you know, put into society about, you know, people and stuff. Yeah. Like for the longest time, okay, besides smoking, it was Trump. Sorry, Trump. But, you know, no Trumpsters, you know, and just the list just kept getting longer and longer. Yeah. And, yeah, they can get pretty particular.
Yeah. I'm sure it's much harder now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, with that being said, it seems like you kind of covered it, but what is the easiest part and the hardest part, like with your experience for matchmakers? I mean, on an average, like it's always something different. But if there is like this is the easiest part of doing this, and this is the hardest part of doing this, I feel like sometimes, sure, it could be like a straightforward answer, or sometimes it could be a little bit more complex. What do you think?
Easiest part is definitely when you know, you go in to match somebody and everything kind of just falls into place. And then we always get really excited to hear what the feedback is after a match. Yeah. And when you hear they spent like 2.5 hours together and, you know, made plans to see each other again, and just how like nice it was to meet somebody, you know, and what they were looking for. Yeah. That is definitely happy dance time. The worst part, well, there are a few. Okay, let me tell the story. Okay, one time, we got this guy signed up out of, you know, the Big Bear Mountains up there. He was kind of, you know, I mean, I've gotten half the town of Aspen married because it's a lot of cool people, but the dating pool is super small. Same with up in Big Bear and stuff. But, well, they do have access to LA. But anyway, this guy comes in and we sign him on. Super, super nice. And he goes on his first, and he's saying how he kind of wants it to keep it up in that area, like, you know, general vicinity. I'm like, well, dude, you keep your boat down in Newport. And he's like, okay. So got him to open up that, and that was beautiful. So we match him up, and he gets there on time, and the girl was already there. And we hadn't worked with this girl really but a couple times, and she was there at the bar talking to about half a dozen guys and had already been drinking.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, and that ends up being a reflection on us. She is no longer working with us, but okay, here's the thing. He was super cool about it. He didn't like, some guys could like immediately say, I want a refund, ambiance is so stupid for, allowing this to happen. This guy was cool and just understood it, for what it was. Anyway, we sent him out again, and the second match, that was like 3 years ago, and they're still together.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great.
And he's sending us family members now and stuff like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
But he was just cool, and like cool people have better success.
Yeah, if you just
Yeah.
more go with the flow.
And be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And go with the flow and try to understand, because that was definitely out of our control.
Absolutely. You can't, control what people do.
Yeah.
But we've got one more story, I believe.
Yes.
Honeymoon phase versus reality stories. And I don't know what you would have to say about that.
I got stuff to say that just came to me in like the last 60 seconds. Like, honestly, in the real world, like off of Matchmaking Planet, that is like a huge factor.
Yeah.
It's like so typical 3 months. It's a joke, ooh, honeymoon phase is over. But honestly, like, because we have this schedule set up where people can put their accounts on hold for like up to a year. So we monitor, or, understand when people come off hold and stuff like that. And it doesn't happen that much in the world of matchmaking because, I can't give away all the secret sauce, but, we do our best, and it is a good job. And they are typically people that have done the work and know how to do the work to navigate, or maybe had parents and they saw their parents working through stuff that comes up in life. And always there's going to be stuff that comes up in life. Yeah. And so it just builds on it.
Yeah. Opie says, we, 25 male and 27 female, love each other, but our lifestyles don't align. Moy says, we dated for a year, a little rocky here and there, and then broke things off for the summer. I left for an internship out of state, and we didn't talk for the first few weeks, but eventually stayed in touch with texts. When I got back in town in August, we reconnected and talked about trying to make things work, addressed issues from the past, and enjoyed one another's company. We missed each other a lot, and most of our time together was spent kissing and cuddling.
I was going to say.
I've never felt so in love. And I've also never felt this frustrated with someone I'm not even committed to. Things have been very rocky since August. We just started seeing each other again after a 1-month break/breakup. I'm 27 female, 2 years older. I've had a few serious relationships before. I've been married. Wow. I'm in college. I know what I want. I have career goals, and things are going great. I stay busy. Health is important to me. I'm independent. I'm a loner. His 25 male last and first girlfriend wasn't serious. She was 20 and dumped him through text. In the year we've dated, he lived with his mom and worked odd jobs or didn't have a job. A big reason why we were rocky. He's not career motivated and has few goals for his future. He's doing nothing right now to achieve anything. He just got a full-time job. He pursued school but is taking a break after some complications. He's got a lot of friends and his family is great. He's much less independent than me. I'm happy in my life and want a lot more from it. I actively do things all the time to get what I want out of life. He's happy in his life and wants more from it. I do not see or know what he is doing or has done to progress, though. I ask, and communication is a real issue sometimes. We generally communicate all right, but when I really want information from him, it seems impossible to get without a lot of intuition and clarification. It's fun to talk about the future, but sharing goals and working to achieve them are different things. I can't say he's particularly motivated to do anything outside of expanding his consciousness. This was his answer when I asked him what he wanted from life at the time. Wow. He's into psychedelic substances and lucid dreaming and deep experiences like this. Other than this, I don't know what else he's really into. He doesn't drink much. He smokes devil's lettuce occasionally. Substances certainly don't rule his life. Many of his friends are like-minded, and just about none of his friends have a lot going for them, in my opinion. I feel real judgmental here, but it's a personal preference. I get that he's happy with his life, and they're happy with theirs, but I don't see happiness there. His friends don't have stable jobs, they move frequently, and more than half have young kids. Wow. See, I was quick pause. I was going to say maybe this is because he's 25 and is a little bit younger than her. But if they have young kids, it seems like maybe they're in an area where that is more common to like start a life earlier. So,
it depends maybe on the, I was going to blow out a state name, but it's highly offensive if I mention a state of people getting married and having kids really young. But I could.
All his friends are single right now, and many have been in rocky relationships in the past. I'd be miserable in their lifestyle, and I can't relate to them. Most of my family live like this, and this is why I live across the country and rarely see them. To me, this lifestyle breeds depression and listlessness, and I explicitly do not want to be around it. Some of his friends seem really great, but others make me really concerned. So again, this guy's amazing to me. We connect deeply. We have so much in common. It's weird. We crave one another. And after a year of rocky BS, we still love and miss each other so much. But our lives have never aligned. I gave him the benefit of the doubt with him living with his mom and not working because he said it was temporary, and I wanted to give him a fair chance to prove it. It's just been a roller coaster, though. I don't see how a future will work between us until I accept he's not really going anywhere and has very little to offer. And I don't want to accept this in a significant other. I feel insanely judgmental, and we're just going to pause right there because that was a lot to take in before we move on.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any thoughts for OP so far?
Are you serious? Oh my gosh. Well, she does not need to hear this because she knows already. But the whole up and down thing, that's just going to delete all of her energy. And it sounds like she has a lot going on. And I'm so proud of her for breaking away of, you know, how she was raised. It sounds like it's more similar to his lifestyle. And I met a lot of those kind of people in the Amazon rainforest when I was there, you know, just being and wanting to check out certain plant medicines and stuff. But she's just needs to move on. And there's chemical warfare happening. Obviously, they've been apart for a little over a month and they're like, oh, but I love him so much. I'm not thinking it might be love, you know?
Especially when they've broken up multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, I think that's probably
science.
lust.
Yeah. Honestly, the science of sleeping with somebody, I mean, it just makes you want to connect to them. It's, it could be, you know, Elephant Man or something. And you're just like, gonna just, oh, he was really cool. But she needs to take his phone number out of her phone and then put on her wall like all the reasons that she didn't like him, and sorry buddy, whoever you are, but she deserves better.
I think she just needs to find someone who's more in line with, you know, what she wants to do in life.
I mean, here's the bottom line, and I didn't get to say this about what an entrepreneur might want, and somebody.
I feel like that's actually a perfect example right here.
Somebody that's going to make you a better person, you know, and this guy's going to drain her, and if she wants to accomplish all the things that she's capable of, she needs to stay away from him and let him go chill and do, you know, I don't know, gummies with his buddies.
No, I have a lot of friends actually that have like broken out with partners because they feel like they're more focused on, you know, bettering their life and pursuing things, and they don't feel like their partner is doing any of that. And I think it's a super important thing to keep in mind in a relationship, because you don't want someone who's just, you know, if doing something with your life and pursuing a career or pursuing something is important to you, I feel like you want someone who is going to encourage that.
Thank you. That's like a huge platform. Again, I, you know, mostly deal with people in their 30s, and that is huge to find somebody that you want to gear up with, that's you know, you guys are going to launch each other, you know? Yeah. Instead of somebody bringing you down. Yeah.
And not to say that she should go with someone like much older, but I feel like someone a little bit older or her age might be more in line, just because it seems like, you know, at 25, you might not be at that stage in life.
Yeah, it sounds like it for sure. And she's what, 27?
She's 27, he's 25. So it's not a huge difference, but if she wants someone who's like a little bit more sure about what they want to do in life.
I interviewed a girl recently in Colorado. She's like 27 or 28. And I'm like, girl, you seem like way older, you know, because she's super cute and fit and, you know, teaches like athletics and stuff. But she's like, I know, I hear that all the time. It's because I hung out with my grandparents mostly growing up or something. She just has this old soul wisdom, and it was really refreshing. So we matched up with somebody and they really hit it off, and he mentioned it. She just must hear it like 10 times a day. Yeah, she was super cool.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
But OP continues. He's smart, but not educated. He's interesting, but unmotivated. We share common interests and goals, but we don't seem to be on the same page when it comes to attaining or achieving things. Furthermore, this is really where we end up taking breaks. The fact that there's breaks plural should be like, I think that's it.
That's such a buzzkill.
When I try to have frank, direct conversations about these concerns, he thinks we're breaking up, shuts down, communication doesn't really happen, and we do end up breaking up. That's a huge red flag. He's like, oh, when we try to talk, I just break up with you.
You know what?
we?
I think one of her big pattern problems is she is relating to her mom and dad, because it sounded like they came from the same mold, and she has got that in her, and she needs to do, what do they call that? Family constellations or something, where you kind of, it's weird saying it. It's really woo-woo, never mind. But she needs to really address that, you know, in whatever way, shape, or form, so she can like cut her losses and move on and focus on her career, which will bring her a lot more happiness.
And she'll probably find people who, like, in pursuing, I think, what your dreams and pursuing what you want to do in your life, I feel like you just kind of happen upon other people who are like-minded.
Honeybee says love isn't always enough. Yeah, you can't take that to the bank.
True.
Okay.
OP continues saying he feels like these are issues we can overcome, and yet he breaks up with you?
Yeah.
I feel like he agrees. I agree, but how? Tell me how we can overcome them. I feel he's inexperienced and immature, which I don't fault him for, and I want to work with him on, but how? How can I handle relationship issues plus maturity issues? It feels like too much, but then he feels we can overcome this. I want to make this work. I'm so crazy about him, and I'd love to be in a real relationship, but this is so draining that I keep calling it quits. He's hurt when we take breaks, and I'm hurt we can't resolve an issue in one conversation, and that there are 1,000 issues to me, and all of them are not that big of a deal, and we can work through this in his eyes. We're seeing each other again. I don't want to hurt him anymore. I'd like a serious relationship, and he still can't offer one. How can I change my perspective on all of this? Or should we just stop seeing each other for good? And that's the end of that story.
No. I have to be able to say something.
Yeah,
here.
no, absolutely.
Okay, she's like a spring chicken. She thinks her life is going to be over. And I hate to keep reverting to these case studies that come out of these universities, but I think it was Harvard. And people that are showing super high signs of intelligent life, they don't get married until they're like, these days, until their early 30s. And I'm a witness to this with our clients. It's in their 20s, they're like, you know, finishing up school, and late 20s, starting to get their corporate game on, and then enjoying that for a while. And then early 30s, you know, like that's when you want to, date and have fun, but don't rush it.
Yeah.
And quit going back. You're doing the whole Einstein thing, repeating mistakes, and it's not in your best interest.
No, not at all.
And he'll be fine. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about hurting him.
Else.
He's hurting you.
Yeah. It's not helping him either. So
yeah.
But that's the end of that story, and we actually do have one more story. Do we have time for that?
Yeah, Leslie, how are you doing? Do you got one more?
I've got all day.
Awesome.
Perfect. Let's do
we'll
more
get into this one.
Actually, that was a lie, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay. The curtain goes up on the freeway at 3.
Oh yeah, it'll
curtain.
get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Is it just? I think it's part of that same one. Is it?
Oh, do I just keep going?
not her again.
No.
Yeah, different. I think it's a different.
Okay.
It's a different one, but you can just read it from that one. Yeah.
So OP says, a long business trip has caused me, 32 female, to reconsider myself and my marriage, 36 male, of 4 years. Business trip TA says, first, some basic information about our relationship. My husband and I have what I thought was a happy, successful marriage, if a little clingy and codependent. We both work very long hours, and what little free time we have, we spend together. Basically joined at the hip. We don't have many friends because we prefer being together alone. That always worries me. Yeah.
Red flag.
We joke about how silly it is that we have such a big house because we're almost never even in different rooms. We've both gained a lot of weight in the last few years. He's quite tall and I'm quite short, and I'd guess he's gained about 100 pounds and I've gained about 60, proportionally similar. We went from being normal-sized people to fat people. It's no mystery why this happened. We love eating out at restaurants together and staying in and watching TV and movies or playing video games all night with a couple pizzas and a bag of Doritos or whatever. It felt really fun and comfortable, and both of us reassured the other that we still found them attractive and the spicy sleep was still great. Every now and then, one of us would say we should eat better or exercise more, but we never kept it up for more than a day or two. My normal job consists of me sitting in an isolated cubicle for 8 to 12 hours a day, staring at emails and spreadsheets. I rarely talk to anyone. The weight gain, it happens for many
60
different
pounds
reasons.
overnight?
Yeah, and I think that weight gain can happen for many different reasons, but I think overall the issue here seems to be that they're becoming complacent.
Yeah. I went through that for a while.
Yeah, and I think that is a little bit worrisome that they don't want to hang out with anyone else and they just want to be very insular.
That is not uncommon, though.
Yeah.
It's just not necessarily healthy, and there's like a lot of ways to spin that. In the long run, I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gonna maybe end up being their worst enemy. Right now, they think they're all cool, they don't need anybody, but that might be their demise down the road.
I think so. I mean, if OP's already bringing it up, I think she's beginning to notice that there's an issue.
Yeah.
I rarely talk to anyone. My company needed someone to go to Asia for 2 months as a direct contact with vendors. The person who was supposed to go got seriously ill at the last second. Because I helped prepare the materials for that person, they asked me to go instead. I was really nervous about it. I have social anxiety, and this requires sales pitches, presentations, and a lot of high-pressure socializing with strangers in foreign countries. And so directly the opposite of how she's been living for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I thought I would miss my husband like crazy, but it was also a huge opportunity. My husband was sad that we'd be apart for so long, but very supportive.
Awesome.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, I know.
My trip is almost over, and to my surprise,
I don't want to go home.
I've actually had an amazing time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think OP's realizing, oh, wow, it's actually nice to spend time outside of your partner.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I've done my job really well and had some incredible sightseeing experiences. And to my surprise and horror, I haven't missed my husband at all. I've loved living alone. I've loved the control and independence, exploring such exotic places all on my own, and meeting and talking to new people. I've lost a lot of weight because the food in these countries is lighter and smaller portion than in America. Not down to my pre-wedding weight, but I still had to buy smaller pants. I also realized that my husband and I are kind of slobs. Because the apartments the company put me in are so small, one dirty dish can feel gross and oppressive. So I've been extremely neat and organized. In our giant house in the suburbs, you can spread the mess out all month before it starts to get unbearable. Now that I'm about to go home, I feel conflicted. Part of me can't wait to go home and relax, sink into the couch in my husband's arms, order delivery from our favorite place. Part of me is horrified at myself for being such a weak, codependent, reclusive mess for years, when apparently I could be independent, resourceful, sociable, and healthy. I'm even fantasizing about leaving my wonderful, loving husband. But then I think this trip was a short, weird thing, like a vacation, not like real life. And I was happy in my real life. I haven't said anything to my husband about any of this. He knows about the weight loss because we FaceTime pretty often, but not how I feel. If I bring up wanting to change things in our life, I think it will come across as a huge surprise. And I don't even know what, if anything, I want to change or what to say. Where do I go from here? And there is an update, but
Can't wait to hear. How old is she?
I think she was somewhere in her 30s.
Okay.
32.
Yeah.
32, and husband is 36.
Anytime like I hear something, okay, this isn't like, oh yeah, it kind of is. Like it's a big part of our questionnaire is about your family and your parents and how you're raised. And I have a feeling like she's going into that comfort zone. I mean, I was the only woman in our family to ever work, and it was weird at first, and I can kind of like, sadly, don't tell anybody, but relate to that relationship, and it will end up being her demise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say 100%, but it doesn't end well, probably.
Do you think that it would be, I don't know, do you think it would be helpful if she had that conversation, and like, do you think that they would actually see some change in your
Well, that's always
experience?
Good, like to get, if they can, of course.
Yeah.
That's I couldn't, like, I regretted saying those words a second ago, because people should always like try to work through something, and I never like recommend for somebody to break up unless there's like violence or something involved, and this obviously it's the opposite, complacency, but they should talk it through.
Yeah. I think it really is going to be a lot on OP to just hold strong and not become complacent again and not fall into that pattern that she's so used to.
Yeah.
Because I think it is really easy.
And I'm afraid he's
going
to like maybe do some mental stuff because he doesn't want to lose her. Like she's probably the best thing that's ever happened to him maybe. And he might have been to her too. But this happens, especially when you're younger. One person will elevate and the other person, I don't know. It can be problematic. So
but hold strong to what you want in life.
Yeah. They don't have kids yet.
Yeah, exactly. So you can make those changes. I wasn't expecting to update so quickly, but now I think I painted an overly rosy picture of our relationship in the last post. Uh-oh. I think she's really like having this moment of realization after this trip. I think having been away so long, I remembered it as better than it is. When he picked me up at the airport, he hugged me and mumbled, "You're so skinny." I'm actually still pretty overweight, but not as bad as before. I wanted to enthuse about my trip, but I was really exhausted from jet lag. And he seemed distant and weird, so we just didn't talk much on the drive home. As soon as we were inside in the house, he burst into tears, going off about how I was going to leave him now, and I couldn't possibly find him attractive anymore, and how he hated his body and himself. I was really taken aback and still so tired I could barely stand. I tried to comfort him, but also said, "I'm sorry, we'll have to talk about this later. I really need to sleep." Yeah, I mean, she just flew back from Asia. That's a long flight.
Yeah, I want to accuse him of being selfish and stuff, but he had all that time just to get in his head and be super insecure.
Yeah.
So he exploded.
It was 4 a.m. when I woke up. My husband was still up at his computer. I suggested either he get some sleep before work or we go out for breakfast, and he chose the latter. Over breakfast, I thought out loud about applying to switch to the other sub-team, which would involve a lot of travel. I'd be gone about a third of the year.
Oh, okay.
My husband started crying again and said I just wanted to get away from him, and this was the start of us growing apart. He said he was miserable while I was in Asia, and if I wanted to travel more, we should do it together, and that if I really loved him, I wouldn't want to sleep somewhere else for a solid third of our lives. It was kind of embarrassing that he was crying like this in public, so I just agreed that traveling together made sense. He brought up the weight thing again, not me, and said that the reason it's so difficult is because we work so much. He's gone from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. Wow. Including commute, and often goes in on Sundays to do catch-up. Around deadlines, he sometimes works as late as midnight. My hours aren't as bad, but close. He said he can't see where he'd fit in more exercise. We have so little free time, and we're both so tired all the time. It's no wonder we end up in front of the TV with takeout. The conversation was making me feel trapped and hopeless, and I snapped, "Maybe you should quit your job then." Honestly, I feel like that is maybe not what he wants to hear, but I think that is, if he's upset with the amount of hours.
So who wants you to quit? Sorry, I spaced out.
OP wants her husband to quit his job because he keeps complaining and saying, "I don't have any time to exercise, and I work these late hours, and I'm always tired."
She suggested that?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, no. No.
Yeah.
I don't want to muddy the waters, but I mean, what good will that do? Okay, first of all, you can always find time.
Yeah.
You know, that's such a lame thing. I mean, you have to. And if you want to be more, he can get twice as much done maybe if he exercises, you'll be more productive.
You get more energy too.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That just sounds like a you-know-what show. And she should step back. They should get some therapy because
Absolutely.
I'm not a therapist. And I just think they should get professional help. And I think we all know where it's going.
Yeah. He said, "That's not helpful. That's not a real suggestion." In my last post, I described our spicy sleep life as great, but I guess great when we have it would be more accurate. And before I left, it was down to maybe once a month. We talked about that too, and we agreed that it's no one's fault, and we both want more spicy sleep in the abstract, but on a day-to-day basis, we feel too tired and sluggish and gross to initiate, or there just isn't time. He went straight to work, nothing resolved. I've been alone in the house, mulling. Maybe we should quit our jobs and find the ones where we can work less, scale down our expenses, sell our house.
Van life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the best solution I've heard was him saying maybe we should travel. If they want to work on it, maybe they should travel together more. He can have that experience.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about travel, but it seems like come out, whoever you are happens when you're traveling.
Oh, yeah.
So, go on a trip.
It's putting yourself under the stress.
Yeah, see what happens.
What's the point of working all the dang time if we're just going to be fat and tired and not enjoying life? It's been one day and I feel like Asia was a long time ago or never happened at all. And edit, just to clarify, I didn't mean for us to have this conversation right when I got home. I thought I'd take some time to readjust and think about things. Research counseling, recipes, a cleaning service, trips we could take, and the other sub-team. So I could come to my husband with concrete, specific suggestions. When he had a meltdown as soon as we got in the door, it felt like we had no choice but to talk as soon as possible, and I just wasn't ready. I was jet-lagged and undecided about many things. Instead of offering solutions, we just circled around and around our problems and made things seem unsolvable. Everything I suggested, he shot down, saying we had no time. I had no idea he was so unhappy while I was away. We communicated pretty often by instant message and video, and he seemed cheerful and normal. I also didn't expect that he would find my weight loss so upsetting. It's not very dramatic at all. I doubt anyone other than my husband would even notice, and I'm still significantly overweight. I didn't even know that he was unhappy with his body. He's never talked about it like this, crying and saying he hates himself and I'm going to leave him. We actually moved to the suburbs to be closer to his work, but then his company had switched buildings twice, and now it's an hour and a half away. Oh, that's tough. Sometimes something that is confusing to me about the comments is the amount we work really that abnormal? He commutes 3 hours a day, works 9 to 10 hours. I don't think the 9 to 10 hours is super abnormal, but 3 hour
It's the
commute
additional
is
3 hours.
pretty wild.
Is he in LA?
Yeah, it must be.
2 mile radius, yeah.
I commute 90 minutes a day, work 8 to 10 hours. Most people we know work, drive this much, and they make it work somehow. Still have kids and hobbies, not all of them overweight. So I don't know why we're unable to manage. His job is also a big part of his identity, and these hours are common throughout his industry. Asking him to quit seems very radical. To work less within his field would require a big step down in terms of prestige and how interesting the work would be, not just the money. Ironically, he has his dream job, but no room in his life for anything else. That is tricky.
He's a software guy, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking like software or like some sort of tech.
Heck, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty normal. Well, get up half an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Only
I mean,
30
you
minutes and it'll make your day.
Yeah, I think it's like when you know, not even in terms of like losing weight, but just like having exercise is just super important just to make you feel good. Not even like about like what you weigh. I don't think that's super important. It's just like, do I have energy?
Yeah. And get out in nature.
Yeah.
Get
Having
grounded.
that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like so many people don't realize how we've been put into these boxes, and we weren't like this for the longest time. And it's
No.
you know, it can
Having
be...
those moments in nature is super important.
Mhm.
I mean, I know whenever I like don't leave the house because I live here.
Yeah, and you work from home.
Yeah, and I work from home. So
Welcome
it's like
to-
sometimes I don't like go on my walks and I'm like, I feel like a dog who hasn't been walked. I'm like, I need to go out.
Yeah,
so
and then
it's
when you
super important.
walk, it's concrete jungle.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Fortunately, we kind of live in a pretty neighborhood.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
But it is also important to go on like hikes.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Actual nature.
It was weird interviewing people during COVID because you'd see these like top amazing executives and they're
Yeah.
locked in their apartment,
Yeah.
you know, and they're just like look like they want to jump out the window
No,
or
it's
something.
terrible.
Yeah.
I only had COVID once, but this was in college, and I was in my little loft room in the apartment that I lived in with my roommates, and because I didn't want them to get it, so I was just like stuck in there
Nice.
all day, and it's
Okay.
like this little tiny
Brutal.
room.
I'm sorry. Did I say nice? Yeah.
Yeah, no, not.
I think I told you I was in Mexico, and then I
Yeah.
heard about this one store opening up in Sayulita, and I
Mhm.
just drove down there. I wanted to drive by or something, and I swear the whole town was like sitting at bars like 3
Yeah.
inches apart from each other, drinking and having a blast.
That sounds
I could,
great.
yeah. Mhm.
But that's the end of the story.
All righty then.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Do you want to introduce yourself one more time and plug yourself wherever?
Oh, okay. Actually, I'm Leslie, and I am a matchmaker with Ambiance Matchmaking. I am the founder. We've been in business almost 25 years, and there's a lot of matchmakers out there these days. When I first started, there was like me and a handful, and
Yeah. It's grown a lot.
so super. And you know, if I have advice to like all you singles out there, I would say make sure you find, I mean, there's a lot of smart people out there. And I remember my dad always saying there's smart and then there's wise, and wisdom comes with like maturity and stuff. And you really want somebody, if you're going to be a paying client, especially, you know, it's like a major investment, and you want a matchmaker that takes it as seriously as you do. You know, we think it's like one of the most important decisions of your life, like, you know, having a roof over your head, super important, but who you end up with under that roof can make all the difference, you know, in the world. And if you can't afford it, yes, just go into a singles database, you know, and maybe check in every now and then. You know, we do have a thing where if they do pay to do the interview and decide just to be in the singles database, it gets them on our radar more. And, you know, I mean, we have thousands of people in our singles database, so
Yeah.
we, you know, don't always know who's all in there. But yeah, there's ways of, you know, getting through, especially if you're in our main age category, which is, you know, 30s. And, yeah, and don't rush things, and don't think, ooh, I'm going to single when you're 27 and you think you might have made the wrong choice. You know, give yourself some slack. We're all, you know, making wrong decisions all the time, but you got to learn from them, not repeat them.
That's life. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great advice.
That's all I got.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yes,
And
thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much, Leslie.
helping us read these stories today and
It's
giving
fun.
your
Yeah.
thoughts.
It's
Glad.
fun.
Yeah.
Yay.
It was fun watching the comments go by.
Yeah, no, the comments are great. But thank you so much for joining us, Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Sorry, I don't recommend it either, going without a mask
Yeah,
in Mexico.
yeah.
I just drove by. Yeah.
No, I get it.
Oh, thank you. Somebody said it's been awesome.
Yay.
Thank you, Emma. Oh, that's her again. Yeah, we're buddies.
Yeah, we've got some. Do we have any comments or donations?
Just the one dono up here from Purple Trader.
Jelba says, I hope she's enjoyed her time on there as much as we have enjoyed having her on here, because I think she has.
Oh,
Well,
thanks.
yeah, I'm so glad you guys like this. And thank you for coming on.
It was fun. That's totally why I drove up here. I knew it would be fun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You guys seem great.
Okay,
Thanks,
I'm
Riley,
glad
for
you
reaching out and stuff.
No,
And all
thank
the
you.
great questions.
Amazing. That's what we want.
I guess one question from Kim Foyne over here.
Oh, my friend.
Yes. Can Leslie confirm whether Midwestern men are in high demand?
If they're what?
In
high
high
demand.
demand.
Oh. All men are in high demand. Honestly, that's pretty global, but I will say that they make good husbands. I noticed in our Chicago office, it's really interesting seeing the personality of every city, and
Yeah.
it's super family oriented. You think of it as a mini me New York or something, but it's a whole different animal, and they're very family oriented, very money oriented. But Tulsa, Chicago guys, or Midwest men in general, they want a good relationship just as much as a woman. Women, we got to factor in, not as much as men these days, but or ever, like the lifeline if you want to do the family and stuff like that. But yeah, they just make really good husbands. And good women are in high demand as well. So like I really just refuse to hear one way or the other, because if you think it, then if you speak it or type it, it might end up being it, and that's not,
You don't want to put it out in the world. You gotta manifest.
Yeah.
the good
So
stuff.
know your guy is out there, and actually February. Oh man, I'm gonna go woo woo. February's supposed to be a huge manifesting month, so just like totally profess, what you want and think it and strive to be it, and that's super important. And always be positive. And no, it's so hard, but just always do your best to be positive. So think positive about it and put yourself in our singles database.
Yeah. And with that, you will find a partner.
I didn't say
that. Maybe. But thank you so much for coming on. Did you already plug your website?
AmbianceMatchmaking.com. And if you can't spell it, sorry.
Then you can't join the singles database. But we'll have Keon. Do you wanna? I could walk.
Yeah, I think it's you. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
swap
I'll
you
walk
guys
out.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
I will walk you out, and we'll
Okay.
switch over.
Amazing.
Camera off.
Hey, don't leave yet. We've got some stories that we think you'll enjoy, so stay tuned for the next one.
My ex-boyfriend got our coworker pregnant, so I congratulated them. I, a 28 Asian female, found out that my boyfriend, 31 Hispanic male of 3 years, cheated on me with one of our coworkers, and his sister had a part in it. What? Last week on Friday, I was at my work desk when my very nosy lead came up to me, whispering and asking if I was okay. I was confused. She then pulled up her phone and asked if I had broken up with my now ex-boyfriend because she screenshotted an Instagram post that was made over the weekend by one of my coworkers, the person he cheated on me with. By the way, this comes from Electronic Bar 8484 on the r/comfortlevelpod subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So I do not have social media, so I told my nosy lead to show it to me, and there was a picture of my coworker kissing my now ex-boyfriend for the world to see. On Saturday, I told them that we needed to talk, so I went over to his house. On my way there, the same nosy lead sent me a screenshot of a post that was made by my coworker saying that she was about 2 months pregnant. I called and asked him to explain himself while I was nearing his house, and he just stayed quiet. He refused to come out or see me when I arrived at the house, so we basically talked through the phone for the time that I was there. After I sent him the pictures of the screenshot, not telling him who sent it, he finally said things happened, and he got close to our coworker after his sister started inviting her to the house, then confessed that he started dating her 2 months ago, the day before his mom's 50th birthday, which he invited her to, but told his sister to tell me that she was the one that invited the coworker. He also told her to dress in gold, which is his favorite color, when the theme was hot pink, to which everyone was wearing but her. On the day of his mom's birthday, he spent the whole night drinking, talking, and dancing with his sister and our coworker because they claimed that they didn't want her to feel left out, while I was with the rest of his family. His cousin invited me to dance since my ex was dancing with our coworker when suddenly my ex pulled me to the side and was upset that I was dancing with his cousin. I told him that I should be the one that's upset with how he has been acting all night, but just didn't want to make a scene out of it out of respect to his mom. I ended up saying bye to his mom and said that I wasn't feeling too well, so I left. That was when the cheaters decided that they were going to go upstairs and make a baby on the night of his mom's 50th birthday while everyone was celebrating downstairs. Mind you, he told me all of this over the phone. After some time, his sister came down and said that he had asked me to go back home for the day. I yelled at her for helping her brother lie to me for the last 2 months. Her answer to me was that she didn't feel like I was good enough for her brother because I didn't speak Spanish. Yes, Spanish. And she liked my coworker because she was Hispanic and wanted her to date her brother, who is now my ex-boyfriend. So she set them up. After everything that I've done for them and her kids, helping her daughter get through speech therapy, watching her kids while she goes out to party, and helping their mom run errands. All of this wasn't good enough because I needed to speak Spanish too. His mom came out to ask what was going on. I told her I came to say goodbye and that her son was a dog and a POS and he can do the explaining to her, but that I was done. She cried, telling me not to go and that whatever he did to hurt me, he would get back, so for me to stay. I told her that he will get what he deserves, but I was done with her son. I remained professional, as best I can, all week when the shifts overlapped at work. Even congratulated them on their pregnancy in front of everyone. He called me, to which I picked up and asked. He wanted to know where he stands in our relationship so he can make a decision. I think you've already made a decision, dude, when you were boinking on your mom's 50th birthday.
He says, I just need you to tell me where you're at.
Yeah.
Because if you're like down with us still being together, I'm down.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I'm just trying to get like a sense of where your head's at.
Because
my head.
My goodness. Uh-oh.
He's thinking relationship.
And he asked if I cannot make a scene or make things awkward at work. I responded there is no place for him to stand when there is no relationship, and his decision was already made when he decided he wanted to sleep with another woman and impregnate her. I didn't make things awkward. What they did affected them, not me. This week, his sister ended up quitting after she got into an argument with another supervisor. Then Friday came back around today and I received some more good news. The company ended up firing him because of a DUI, which he now has 2 DUIs. Am I the a-hole? Side note, my ex, our coworker, were all supervisors at the same company. His sister reports to our coworker. They're all on first shift and I'm on second shift. And we do have an update. Wow. But do we have any final thoughts before we go into this update? A lot of crazy stuff happened.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
No, don't go back together with him.
No.
He cheated on you and had a baby with another woman. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
So you're definitely not the a-hole. I don't know what you would be the a-hole for. Like
nothing.
You didn't do anything.
Nothing. You didn't do anything.
You just,
I don't know what you would be the a-hole for.
You left the party and you congratulated them on the pregnancy. I think that's a very nice thing to do.
If they feel guilty,
yeah.
That's on them.
That's on them, man.
That's on them.
But there is an update. So, since my ex-boyfriend has been fired, my phone has been ringing nonstop with constant messages going off. I ended up blocking his number. At work, my coworker has reported me to HR for pesterment. My manager, who has been on personal time off for the past 2 weeks, talked to me about it throughout the past week and asked about what happened. I told my manager that I haven't done or said anything to my coworkers except for congratulations on her pregnancy and hello as a fellow coworker would. I told HR where the proof was that I was talking about her or making her uncomfortable and that they can go ask associates or other management members if I had said anything about her. Also, for them to go ask her to explain to them exactly why she felt I was pestering her on what grounds. Apparently, associates and management have been talking about her pregnancy and how my ex-boyfriend cheated on me and is the baby daddy. She is saying that I told everyone about it. Pathetic. She needs to realize that the only reason everyone knows is because she purposefully posted it on Instagram for the world to see about her and my ex-boyfriend's scandalous relationship and also announcing her pregnancy. Yeah, that's a good point too. Her coworker told OP that she was being cheated on. Like,
yeah, OP found out after people.
Yeah, everyone else is telling OP the information.
So
it has been confirmed by HR after asking management and associates that I have not said anything to my coworker, but that day when everyone congratulated her on her pregnancy. Also, that I didn't say anything to anyone about my cheating ex-boyfriend and coworker, but that everyone found out through her post on Instagram. They said that they would talk to her and handle the situation, but for the time being, I was to keep a distance. Fine with me. I'm not sure how they will take care of the situation, but I'll wait and see what happens. Now, over the weekend, I went over to their house to get my stuff after confirming with his mom that he was not home. She agreed to help pack my stuff for me as well, so I can just go in and out. She had the garage open and was finishing up packing stuff, so I went to help her finish. As we were finishing, he pulled up on the driveway, so I grabbed the last of what I could and told his mom that I was leaving. I rushed to my car, but he stopped me and said that he wanted to talk. There was nothing to talk about. His mom told him to let me leave. She walks over to pull him to the side, but he brushes her off. He wouldn't let me leave until we talked. That's not scary.
No.
It's not scary at all.
No.
That's, yeah. No. No. See what you're doing, dude?
That's your fault. That's your
Sophia's
fault.
hurt because of you.
I tried to throw Tom hands and I hurt myself.
Man. He kept saying to listen to him and he needed to talk to me. At this point, I was just over it. I responded, "What is there to talk about? The day I came over here and asked you to explain to me what happened, you couldn't even come outside and tell me. Not even for a second did I see your face. I give you a chance to come out and explain yourself, but you threw that chance away. You only spoke with me over the phone and not once did you even apologize for having cheated on me. You couldn't even come out to face me. So you sent your sister to tell me to leave, and that already explains what you are not. You are not a man. You can't even own up to your wrongdoing. Now that you want to talk, I don't have to listen since there is nothing between the two of us." Bam. But you know what you have to listen to is more full episodes of stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime. You have to. You have to listen. Okay?
You have to.
We didn't cheat on you, so you have to.
Don't cheat on us with other podcasts.
Please.
We're sensitive.
There is a little bit more to the story, but I think that was a banger response.
Yeah. I think you nailed it. I really think there's there's no question here. You just need to get him out of your life. And if he keeps bothering you, I don't know, restraining order.
Absolutely. I mean,
get him out.
For real.
You can report him and say, no, he's literally harassing me.
He's showing up to my house when people are telling him to leave, including me. He's not leaving. He won't even let me leave. That's
he's
insane.
like, wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's crazy.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Rolling our eyes over here. I pushed past him and placed the box in my trunk and went to get in the driver's seat. He was still insisting that I talk to him. He then said that he was sorry. He didn't know what he was thinking. It was all a mistake and that he still loves me, and that he wouldn't be with her if she wasn't pregnant. His mom told him, "Cheating is not a mistake. You did it because you wanted to do it. Your love was not sincere. You wanted someone else. You did the act, so now you suffer the consequences." I told him, even if she wasn't pregnant, you still cheated. For that alone, I will still leave. She pulled him away and waved me off as I left. Since I have his number blocked, he was using his mom's phone to call me, but I hung up once I heard it was him. She then sent me a text message to block her number. Honestly, I feel horrible that his mom had to witness all of this. She was such a lovely person. She cared for me as if I was her daughter. I really do wish the best for her and her grandkids, but may my ex-boyfriend, his sister, and my coworker get all the karma that they deserve. And that is the end of that story.
My ex-boyfriend cheated on me before the most important day of my life.
You gotta at least wait a day. Come on.
My 26 female, ex 33 male at the time, had been together for 4.5 years. We had a rough start, and honestly, he showed all of his red flags at the beginning, and I chose to ignore them. We met through a mutual friend and hit it off right away. I was gone the first month of our relationship for a family trip, but we talked every day. When I got back, I started seeing how bad his drinking was, so I brought it to his attention, and he tried to be better, such as sticking to a certain number when we were with friends and such. And by the way, this comes from user ExoticSelf4439 on the r/CharlotteDobreYouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, why don't you come on down to the r/OKStorytime subreddit? Submit them there. So I finally asked if we could take the weekend and be sober and talk again on Monday and have a clear conversation. He, of course, went out with someone else, and I got a call from his sister that night saying he hadn't come home yet and asked if I was with him because he told her I would be. I said no. And after a lot of chaos, I got him home and went over to talk to him the next day because at this point, he was never going to stop for at least a day. I sat down as he cried every time I had to remind him what he did. I said, as much as I care about him, I don't want this from my life, so I'm okay if he wants to be this person. I just can't stay around. He quit cold turkey that day, 3 months into our relationship. He decided he couldn't trust himself without me around, so he moved in with me right away, and then the vid hit. Real quick, he and I definitely come from different backgrounds. I got everything I ever needed growing up. I have a good, loving family. I went to private schools and was working on my bachelor's degree. He, on the other hand, had a rough life growing up. Lots of substances and getting mixed up in bad news, and once was ambitious, but after a bad previous relationship and a bad accident, he fell into depression and drinking. During the vid, things were pretty bad. I'm a really happy person, always optimistic and ambitious, and always had a goal in mind, and nothing was going to stop me from getting there. He wasn't always like this either. We had plenty of times where we were happy, cooked together, took long rides together, enjoyed the life we were living with the more than frequent fighting and tears. I got a job after graduation, waiting for the vid to end so I could go to grad school. It was always the plan, and I told him from the beginning I couldn't stay in our home state to do what I wanted to do, and he agreed. He has never lived anywhere else but the small town we met. After 3.5 years since we got together, I finally got into grad school across the country and was so excited to be almost there. I saved up money for the entire year so I wouldn't have to work while at school and he would have a job to help. He, of course, was apprehensive, but agreed to go with. I did give him the choice, but I was going with or without him. We moved, and boy, oh boy, I didn't know what we were in for. We had never lived in a big city, and it made both of us more depressed, but I was still excited to get my degree and worked hard for it. In the meantime, during the 1.5 years it took me to get my master's, he failed to find a job, so I paid for everything, and that washed out my entire savings. He did try, but for some reason, he had bad luck or it didn't feel right to him. I'm not too sure, but I was not happy. You're sure about that? While we were there, I found out I had some health problems that contributed to me not feeling, like being weak and losing hair, finding spicy sleep painful, and just overall a shell of myself. He was relieved to hear that there was something wrong with me, and it wasn't that I was unattracted to him. But to be honest, I had been through so much, I think to an extent that was true. I started treatment, and it's taking me all the way until now to feel like myself again. He wanted to excel in his passion of weight training, so I thought I could help support him since he was supporting me for my dreams. He thought he could start something back in his hometown, so he started flying back and forth to work on his goal. I was supportive. I just wanted him to finally be happy and finally maybe help pay for a life for us. He'd be gone anywhere from a week to a month at a time. Finally, the day came. I was getting ready for family and friends to fly in to see me graduate with my master's. This was the most important day to me because I never got a proper graduation due to the vid, and I got a job offer in the field I'd been working my entire life to get. This was my dream finally coming true. Something had been bugging me that something wasn't right between us. This was one of the hardest years of our lives, but before I began my new chapter, I needed to know everything. As we were going to bed, he was downstairs shutting everything off, and I decided to check his phone. I found in his deleted messages to a girl clearly flirting, calling her all the names he called me, saying spicy sleep is better with her, how he wanted to be with her, sending pictures and more. And more?
Yikes, dude. Yikes.
Staring longingly into a bowl of ice cream like,
No.
yeah, no, that guy is a red
That's
flag.
crazy, dude. No, honestly. He cheated.
He's bad. And you knew he was bad the whole time. You said that you saw the red flags and you were just like, no. I'm sure there were probably more girls and more messages, but I didn't get that far. He came upstairs and I told him to stop once he got to the door. I told him I was going to read to him what I just read so we could both be on the same page. I didn't get too far into reading before he tackled me for his phone and ran out of the house to his truck and drove away. I called my best friend who was flying in that night, also the friend that introduced us, and she was shocked. When he finally returned home, he said he had deleted everything from his phone because he didn't want there to be anything else that I could misconstrue, but promised that was the only girl. Buddy, what do I look like I just blew in from Stupid Town? What? This is another classic. There's no list.
There's
What
no
list
list.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
There was never a list.
What do you mean? I didn't even bring up a list.
What are you talking about? There was never anything in my phone. Look, I deleted it.
Look, I deleted it.
And also, you misunderstood what that even was, which is why I deleted it, because I hate just people misunderstanding me.
But also, that was like the only girl that you could have misunderstood anything about. It was the only girl that I cheated on you with, but also you misunderstood. And so I'm just deleting so you can't misunderstand anything else because it's your fault. It's your fault, and I was right for tackling you to the ground.
It's like the equivalent of like you're walking down the beach and then your partner just grabs your phone and throws it into the ocean like that.
Literally.
And they're like, no, I was saving you, actually. The phone is dangerous. The phone was dangerous.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe if you accidentally walked into the water, it would like shock you.
Like, no.
So I just don't worry about it. Also, whatever you were reading, that must have been a fanfic that I deleted.
Right.
I saw his phone again, and sure enough, he deleted everything. His phone was totally wiped. We had a big fight, and he would now sleep on the couch for the rest of the week while I celebrated with everyone who came to support me. We didn't really have time to talk with everything going on, but the night before my graduation, he and I went to pick up food for everyone and talked. He was weeping, saying he's never been a cheater, he doesn't recognize himself, and I don't deserve this. I saved his life. I'm a good person. Blah, 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 blah. I said I have never been this selfish to him, and this was the most important thing I was going to do in my life, and he tainted it. He suggested couples counseling, and I said, sounds great. You're going to pay for it, and he nodded and hung his head. On to the day of graduation. I was on cloud 9. I walked across the stage, threw my hat in the air, and I turn around to where my family was, and I see him, and all I can do is cry. Cry because I was finally here, and then cry harder because the one person I thought would be even more happy for me was the one who broke my heart into pieces, and all I could see was a stranger. Festivities went on, and he didn't come to anything. After I had dropped off the last of my family at the airport, I was alone for the first time since all of this and cried all the way home. When I got home, he asked me what was wrong, and I told him I was alone for the first time, and all he did was say, oh. And I looked up at him and said, you're breaking up with me. He nodded his head and said we should talk.
I'm sorry, what? How did we get there? How did we get there? How did we get there?
So he's going to be like, honestly, I just can't respect you anymore after you didn't break up with me when you discovered that I cheated on you.
Honestly, like, the fact that you went through my phone, the fact that I had to tackle you just so that you could stop is, like, really crazy, and I should never have to do that. I hated doing that more than you hated being tackled.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, this hurts me more than it hurts you.
Yeah, this guy needs to get Oklahoma drilled.
That's crazy, dude. For real.
I assume the tackle was into, like, the bed.
Yeah,
or
it probably
something.
wasn't,
I assume the tackle was not, like, a full-form linebacker tackle.
Yeah, but, like, still trying to physically tackle you to get the phone out of your hand.
Physically manhandled to get the phone out of the hand.
Because
And then
he didn't want to
runs out of the door and leaves, and then comes back and he's like, well, thank God I deleted all that stuff so that you wouldn't be confused anymore.
That's insane, dude. Now he's breaking up with her?
Yeah, that's crazy, girl.
Oh my gosh.
So sorry.
I hope that every time he goes to a restaurant, they're always out of whatever he wants to order. I hope that so hard, dude.
I hope your cold gazpacho is always warm.
Yeah.
You fool.
Gosh, man.
It was a long night, but I wasn't going to change his mind, and nor did I want to. 2 days later, he flew his dad out, packed up his car, and left back to his hometown after 4.5 years. I did try reaching out to the girl, just seeing if she would talk to me. I'm not mad at her completely, but I just wanted to know, and she blocked me without saying a word. I do now know she was married with kids. This is a woman he never wanted me to get to know. Anyway, I only talked to him if it had something to do with logistics, but after everything was said and done, I never wanted to talk to this man ever again. He was the worst years of my life. He was going to propose to me, but before he left, I gave him back our promise rings. I then moved to a different city, closer to the job I got, to a place we had picked out together with no family and no friends, just my 2 dogs, which is a blessing, because without them, I wouldn't have made it through these 4.5 years. And by the way, you can make it through anything as long as you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. I'm talking Spotify, I'm talking iHeart, I'm talking wherever you listen to podcasts. You just search the name of our show, OK Storytime, and you'll have access to 68 days worth of stories to listen to. And by listening to those stories, you can jump over tall buildings in a single bound. There is a little bit more here. Honestly, there's nothing to say. It's like this guy cheated on you. He's moving out. You're doing good. Let's finish this story. Superman. I moved and made a lot of new friends. And 4 months later, I met someone who is from my home state and in a similar field as me, and we have been inseparable since. He has his own dog, works at the same place I do, and after 1.5 years together, we're a happy little family and are looking to the rest of our lives together. I'm still working at my dream job, living in an amazing place that feels much better to me, and I'm happier than I've ever been. As for my ex, I blocked him and everyone that was associated with him, and I haven't heard anything about him besides that he got into a relationship with a woman his age with many kids. Honestly, the complete opposite of me. I'll be honest, I hold a lot of resentment in my heart that I have been working on, but my amazing boyfriend now has made it easy to feel at peace, and show me what real safety and love and loyalty feels like.
Aww.
Beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Look
And
at
what did it say? Did it
that.
say that they had a dog together or that he had a dog?
He had a dog. And she had 2
Aw.
dogs, and then their dogs became dogs.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I just discovered he's married. So I'm telling his wife about us.
Good luck with that, dude.
34 female didn't know that he, 53 male, was married when we met at work. We were friends for half of a year, eating lunch or getting coffee daily and texting on weekends. He got closer and he kept asking me to have drinks after work or get lunch on weekends. After a year, I agreed. One night during drinks, he hugged me and said that he felt like he could be himself with me. A week later, he kissed me and told me that he loved me, and that's how we began. By the way, this comes from Maleficent Step 6267, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, as he was late 40s, early 50s with teenage kids, I never questioned why he didn't invite me to his house, but he slept over at mine often, and I live in a nice part of town where restaurants and concert venues were, so it made sense why we hung out at my place and not his in the suburbs. I could never have imagined that the man I fell in love with was a bad person, so I made so many excuses in my head, ignoring the obvious signs as they came up during the first year of our relationship. Realizing, okay, he's married legally, but maybe he's separated? Maybe she's a sapphic and allowing him spicy sleep? Maybe it's an open marriage? Maybe they don't like each other but are staying for the kids. Once, after about a year, I saw him texting his wife, calling her amor, and kissing face emojis, and I felt like the stupidest person on earth. All the while, he was telling me that he loved me so much and wished that he could restart his life to hold on to meet me. Every time I said how disgusted I felt with myself and that I am a total POS, he would love bomb me even harder. I am not his first affair, probably the 20th woman he's slept with since getting married, but he claims that I'm the first that he's fallen in love with. He claimed that his affairs started when his wife told him that she didn't want to have spicy sleep anymore after having kids 10 years ago. But then later he told me that the last time he had spicy sleep with his wife was the same year he met me. Later, I found out that he had been cheating on her ever since that they were engaged, and he never stopped since. His work allows him to travel a lot, and he told me, quote, funny stories about threesomes in Australia, one night stands in New Orleans, getting hit on by girls in fancy hotel bars in Paris, sleeping with spicy dancers and waitresses at Twin Peaks and nightclubs. That's actually one of the reasons why I didn't think he was married, because if he was, how could he get away with so much for almost 25 years? He even brought back a few women to the house that he shared with his family. He told me not to feel bad. If it wasn't me, he would be with one of them. The guilt of my part to play and my desire to do the right thing are now strongest. When I found out he was married, I wanted to see his wife for myself to ask her what the deal was with their marriage. But if I'm going to be honest, I loved him too much and didn't have the strength to give him up if it was really full-on cheating. He told me recently he was just telling me he loved me in the past because he wanted me to be his girlfriend. But since those days 3 years ago, he's changed his mind. Who is this man?
Honestly, though, you've earned this. I hope this is a big old wake-up call for you.
I hope so. Because what?
You worked to get here, right?
He said,
He's bad.
I loved you, but I just said that to you to get you to be my girlfriend. And now, 3 years later, I changed my mind.
You should maybe not believe the things that come out of the guy who openly flexes he's cheated on his wife with 20 plus people.
What? And 3 years ago, dude. They've been together for 3 years now. This girl.
Yeah. Call me the weekend, because I'm going to say, girl, you earned it. Okay.
He also said, I told my wife I'd love her forever and promised to always be hers, but that's not true anymore, is it? His mask came completely off, and any love I used to have for him has turned to absolute hatred. Good. I never told his wife because I was weak and because I loved him too much to hurt him, but now it's different. His wife is a stay-at-home mom. Frankly, he uses that fact to financially abuse her. After a few years, I saw the game he plays. He has a separate phone, separate credit card, separate bank account that is actually his dad's bank account that he has a debit card for. He makes the money, pays the bills, pays the taxes, handles any finances and phone bills. His wife can use their joint credit card whenever she wants, and he always pays it, so she has no need to look into their joint bank account. She probably never questions why their bank account doesn't get direct deposits from his work and is instead a transfer. She never asks questions. How come their taxes say he makes so much more than what ends up in their bank? And she never asks questions about how come there are extra credit cards being used by him that she doesn't know about. I heard him say that he works and makes money in their family, so he gets to have fun and do whatever he wants. I laughed once because he said he likes a woman with ambition who works, but that's funny because he cannot take any criticism. One of his complaints about me, and really what he wants is a woman who shuts up whenever he tells her to stop asking questions and give freedom. I know that she doesn't work, but she could become very wealthy if she gets even half of his assets in a divorce. He has a 401k and pension that are worth several millions, and a fully paid off house, in addition to several brokerage accounts. There is also a likelihood, if she gets a good lawyer, that there will be clawbacks for the thousands in hotel rooms and restaurants that he used for his infidelity over the years. I wonder, as he claimed he was traveling for work, but instead going on date nights and sleeping over, could a judge subpoena his Outlook calendar from work to verify if he was traveling or not? Good question. There's a chance that she does not divorce him. They are Catholic and from a culture that excuses men for cheating, especially as he has been providing her a good lifestyle and an outwardly social, picture-perfect life. But I feel like she needs to make the decision herself after knowing everything. Their youngest is now 18 and will go to college in the fall, so there will be no child support to pay, and everyone is an adult and can decide their own relationship with him. I thought many times about how I would tell her. I don't have her number and can't find her on social media, but I do know where they live. I know he is traveling for work in Europe today and won't be home, so I'm thinking of just ringing her doorbell in the afternoon and talking to her face to face. I'll take anything that comes at me. I'm prepared to be arrested for trespassing, even if it comes to that. I'm prepared for retaliation at work if it came to that, but it would screw him over even more if he did that. The last 3 years was not the person I wanted to be, and I am so ashamed of myself. Any relationship that I have in the future, I will disclose everything that happened, and if it means I'm alone for the rest of my life, so be it. There is an edit. I have texts, videos, pictures, and recorded him admitting to the one-night stand and prostitute. I live in a one-party consent state. If a judge wants me to make a statement, get subpoenaed, or be in a disposition, I would be happy to. There are some comments, but I want to hear your comments. Do you think that talking face-to-face with this woman is a good idea?
Nope.
Yeah. I'm a little worried for her. I do appreciate that she's trying to make things right and trying to do the right thing because of her guilt. I do appreciate that she's trying that.
Yeah.
But
it's just like, I think this is more about you than that actual situation. It's kind of more about like you like making up for it.
yeah.
The vibe to me is that she's probably knowing what's going on. She's Catholic. She's not going to divorce. She's got the money. She's got, you're going to walk in there and she's going to be like, just leave me alone. And then you're going to be upset and just write her a letter.
Yeah.
Do something where you can just give it to her and then remove yourself. You don't need to be involved in what she does after that. It's out of your hands. You've done enough.
I mean, I don't know if she knows, though. I think, like, it said that the in the Catholic community in her area, like, that's the vibe. But I don't, like it's the vibe for it to be forgiven.
20 people?
But since they got engaged, though,
openly talking about it,
you don't think she would like find, or you don't think she would like? I mean, I don't know. It is surprising that he kept it quiet for like 25 years.
It seems to be so wide open that it's like,
yeah,
it's almost like he's like flaunting it, where it's like I can get away with anything. It's like she won't even leave me. Check it out.
Oh man, yeah, we're the judge.
It's just so brazen, especially because it's like the way that he's treating her now. OP.
Yeah.
By being like, oh, yeah, you think I was in love with you? I mean, I'm not. That's crazy. Oh, I forgot. That's not how you would treat someone. You'd be like, he knows that she could just go talk to his wife whenever. So if he was actually afraid, I feel like he would have handled that situation with more delicacy. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just, regardless, though, it's like, you just tell her the info that you have. You don't necessarily have to do it face to face.
Yeah, I like your letter idea. Even if that's face-to-face, hand her the letter and walk away, and then she can read it later. There are some comments. Comment number 1 says, I would tell her. Chances are she knows he's cheating, but probably doesn't know the extent. He is putting her at risks of STIs too. I would go to her home and tell her in person, and then just remove yourself from it. If she stays, she stays. If she leaves, she leaves. Opie says, I really don't think that she knows. They call each other Amor, and I see her sending him funny jokes through text. At least, by some miracle, she did not have an STI when he and I were together. I insisted that he can get a test, and he showed me a clean bill of health. Amazing how he's never had an STI. Comment number 2 says, tell her and tell her about the secret accounts too. She needs all the information. Opie says, oh, 100%, especially his debit card to his dad's bank account. His dad is older and has dementia, so he's not monitoring the bank account. He would use his own credit card and bank account to pay for things his dad needs in his nursing home, and then use his dad's card for his affairs. At the end of the day, he's not taking anything more from his dad's money, but by using his dad's bank account to pay for his affairs, he's not using marital assets, so that may not be clawed back. A judge may see differently, though. He may also get reamed for spending his dad's money on his personal things. Of course, he can just say that he's paying himself back for taking care of his dad. But you should always pay us back in your time.
Yes.
By listening to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. Pay us back for, I don't know, all the debt. You're in debt because you owe us all of the time.
For every minute of anything else you've ever watched in your life.
Because all of our content.
A minute of our
there you go.
Content.
Exactly.
Contractual obligation.
That's what your debt is. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
But dang, man, that is the end of that story. That's crazy.